Well, all right. The WrestleMania press conference, kickoff, whatever you want to call it, is now done, dusted, and in the books. And finally, the main event has been cemented. Or has it? But I'm going to get to that soon. Here's the thing. This whole kickoff thing, I don't know why it was a kickoff when it was supposed to be a press conference. The fact that fans were there filling up the actual stadium, it kind of reminded me of an episode of Raw or SmackDown. I don't know why they had this set up. I don't know why fans were in attendance, probably because of the fact that the whole Cody Rhodes not ending his story, or not finishing his story thing was absolutely at its peak, incredibly high. Fans were nuts over this. So I guess they have to have fan attention so they can have a reaction. So yeah, fans were in attendance, which still, again, makes no sense to me. But the thing is, you have Triple H coming out there pretty much going over the whole history of WrestleMania, how it came to be, the stars in the past, present, and future, and all that. And it was a great way to introduce it. But again, it just felt like Raw. But the one thing that really bothered me, actually two things that bothered me about this entire thing, was number one, why is Bayley getting eclipsed by Bianca Belair? Bianca Belair has done absolutely nothing to get to that point yet. Now, I'm not saying that she didn't reach her status without putting in some work. She did. But number one, she absolutely has no title, no match to even advertise. Number two, she was out there advertising her reality show with her husband, Montez Ford, who was not there, I might add. And number three, Bayley won the Royal Rumble. Shouldn't she be there? Shouldn't she be promoting something since she's actually a winner of the Royal Rumble? In my opinion, this whole press conference should have been for winners as well as champions, not people who are good to promote. And it's not Bianca's fault. She's pretty much doing this because she was told to. But I think it kind of eclipsed Bayley, not to mention that Bayley wasn't even on the marquee for the advertising of the thing. It's kind of messed up. That win kind of made it feel like it was nothing for her, and that's just not right. I know Bianca Belair is marketable. I get it. She's likable, especially amongst black people. But for crying out loud, this should be for WrestleMania, not for her reality show. This should be promoted at another time. It should be focused on WrestleMania 40, especially as hot as it's getting. And I feel really bad for Bayley. That was a hard win for her. I think she came in at number 3 and won the entire thing. I could be wrong about the number. If I am, put in the comments. But the fact is, she won the Rumble. The focus should be on her, not Bianca Belair. Nothing against Bianca Belair, but she shouldn't have been there. And Montez should have been with her, especially with her promoting her reality show. That's just not fair. And honestly, it's a kick in the face to Montez. And Montez already selling his reality show that he feels like he has no place in the business. This really cements it here. The fact that you're going to put more emphasis on the wife and ignore the husband, that kind of shows where his place really is, in the back. And that's kind of messed up. That's just me personally. But honestly, guys, the biggest loser of this whole thing is Seth. The fact that Seth actually came out and, of course, did the whole Seth Rollins thing, kind of eclipsed and erased by Roman Reigns and ignored by everybody else. It makes the title look like a side piece belt even more. It's a shame, really. Because I really want Seth to create a legacy with that belt. He's worked hard to get people to notice it. And the sad thing is that it's going to be ignored even more because of that segment with The Rock, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns. And I felt bad. I really did. I hope that Seth Rollins actually does get an opponent. And I hope it does main event night 1 and it becomes a match of the night. Because Seth has worked his butt off to get people to recognize that title and it just got ignored. It was worse for him than him actually trying to advertise that belt for Cody and win him over. That made it worse too. But even though, I'm going to be honest, I think in my video I said that he was promoting it, that it wasn't a downgrade. He was promoting it for that segment. But when you actually put it on the kickoff match, it makes it look worse for the wearer. It didn't look that bad when he was advertising it on Raw to Cody, because Cody was still in between choices. And I understand why he did it. It was how it was set up at that point to make it look like he was like, look, go for the workhorse belt, not for the Hollywood belt. I get why he did that. But when you put him on stage with Roman Reigns is downplaying him. The Rock is pretty much not acknowledging him at all. Cody pretty much ignores him the entire time. It makes him look worse. It makes the belt look worse. It doesn't look good. I feel bad for Seth. And I hope he does get a decent opponent to where people can put focus on that instead of just Roman versus Rock versus Cody. Yeah, I said it. I will get to that in a minute. But honestly, well, I guess there's one more thing to talk about. Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley. The women really didn't have much to say in this at all. Like, they really didn't have any type of a voice except for Rhea Ripley. She's the biggest thing over at this point, and she's making that belt shine loud. But Rhea versus Becky, though. It's not anything I really want to see, to be honest with you, because Becky's already been there, done that, got the t-shirt 5 times. There's really nothing more for her to do. She's already done it all. She's already written in the history books of being the first dual champion of both championship belts at WrestleMania. She's already done it. There's really nothing more for her to do than to put other people over. She's already made it. So have her go up against Rhea, in my opinion, it's just not needed. I'm really wanting and always wanted her to go up against Rhea Ripley is Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley makes more sense to me because it's an unfinished story than Becky versus Rhea. It just feels like that Becky's kind of putting herself in the top spot just to put herself in the top spot. I love Becky Lynch. Don't get it twisted. I love Becky Lynch. I just don't want to see this match. But even if it happens, and I have to accept it. I hope it doesn't. I hope somehow Bianca Belair actually wins the Elimination Chamber because let's be honest. After seeing on the kickoff that she is going to be facing Michin, we know who's going to win. Look, I love me some Mia Yim. She's Michin now. But we know who's going to win that match, and it ain't going to be her. It's pretty much going to be Bianca Belair. And I'm hoping that Bianca Belair wins the Elimination Chamber to go against Rhea Ripley. Because that will probably be a way better match than her versus Becky. And I'm not saying that her versus Becky be a bad match. It's just, I'd rather see Bianca versus Rhea. That's something that we've kind of wanted to see since the NXT days. Or at least since the Mae Young Classic. There was a time they faced off before, and I think it was probably on the main roster. I just can't remember when. But to be honest with you, I'd rather see them both at WrestleMania. That's just me, personally. But let's move on to what everybody and all the crazy fans, and I'm calling them crazy, are talking about. Cody's choice. The one thing that everybody waited on for this entire show. And honestly, it was at the 50-minute mark to where it all happened. So if you want to watch this thing on YouTube, skip to 50 minutes. You don't need to see anything else. Just go to the 50-minute mark and watch the whole thing. But honestly, this was well done. This was well done, very well executed. I don't care what anybody says. This was a well executed storyline that I wouldn't be surprised if Paul Levesque, The Rock, Cody Rhodes, and you can probably say even Roman Reigns got involved in this. They swerved the fans. They swerved the dirt sheets. They swerved everybody. No one knows what's going to be happening next. This is probably the most unpredictable match that I have seen since the Attitude Era. This was done very well. I don't care what anybody says. This was a well-orchestrated storyline that was done by the corporation, by WWE. They knew what they were doing. Yes, maybe there was some things fudged along the way, but they were able to make it go back straight. They were able to make it work. And the passion of the fans, which really interested me, that it wasn't so much people hating The Rock. It was split down the absolute middle. There were people that really loved The Rock. There were people that hated The Rock. And it was like, some people booing The Rock, some people saying they want Cody, booing The Rock, some people like, we want Rocky. It was back and forth. I absolutely loved that. I really did. But the one thing that I have noticed is that they're doing their best to try to make you forget what happened on SmackDown. That was an overall reason why Cody Rhodes came out all huffing with his chest out, ready to to talk people down and say, hey, this is my spot. This isn't your spot. It's my decision. I'm like, Cody, you literally handed your jewels to The Rock. You handed it to him on a silver platter on SmackDown. You're really wanting us to forget that you literally gave your choice to The Rock. And I'm really surprised that The Rock didn't bring that up. But the reason why they didn't bring it up is because they really want you to forget what happened on SmackDown. They want you to forget what happened on Raw. They want you to forget how derpy and stupid Cody looked those 2 nights. They want you to forget all that, pretty much. And to be honest with you, the fact that Cody clapped back was too little too late, because it doesn't make any sense at all now. The fact that he literally handed his choice to The Rock for The Rock to go up against Roman Reigns. And yes, this is probably the part that got a bit fudged, because they didn't expect the crowd to turn on them that quick to where they had to actually make some choices. So it's both well orchestrated and it's both damage control. But it's probably well orchestrated more than damage control. They were able to have enough room, enough flexibility to pivot and put it back straight. Now, the fact that Cody went off about the whole legacy and lineage of The Rock. And yes, The Rock is now a heel. I guess because he called the Cody crybabies. So he's now officially a heel. And he's with the bloodline. According to what I've seen on Twitter, somebody actually recorded both Rock and Roman leaving in the same car. So I guess he's now with the bloodline. Fine. That's cool. It makes it more interesting, to be honest with you. But the fact that The Rock put more passion into this than any type of not so much a debut, but appearance that he has made over the years, because most of the appearances that he has made over the years have been like just phoned in. He actually did put some emphasis on this, and you can tell. So it shows me right there, this is his last match. We're probably not going to see him wrestle again after this. He's done. He's going to be done after WrestleMania, and then he's going to be doing big boy stuff, making big boy money, and just continue on with his life. Roman Reigns, from what I've heard, is going to be taking 6 months off. And of course, the fact that he's been battling leukemia for 15 years, he's going to have to take off for a rest. I get that. But honestly, Cody coming up with that speech is too little too late. There was something that was probably planned, but then held back. But the fact that he did it, and the fact that he had all that energy and made the crowd happy, great. But for me, that whole segment, I got more energy from The Rock than I ever have gotten in a very, very long time. Roman Reigns played the Roman Reigns card very well. I'm happy that Paul Heyman had very little to say and just left it for everybody else on stage. Seth looks like a complete idiot, and I said that before. He looks like a just complete goober, just sitting there on stage listening to everybody, and then of course trying to join in and defend Cody when Cody completely ignores him. But this is also another thing that I've actually talked to Prince about. I wouldn't be surprised if some of it's a work and most of it's a work, but then there's a little bit of shoot kind of hitting in there. What I mean by that is, like I said in my previous video about The Rock's daughter Ava being attacked online by crazy fans wishing her dead, to where she had to literally she had to deactivate her Twitter because it got so bad. I wouldn't be shocked that as a parent, he's ready to choke somebody out. And the fact that Cody made no response towards what happened to The Rock's daughter, I wouldn't be shocked that that's a part of it. That might be a little hint of anger in there, which I don't blame him. Now, I'm not really blaming everything on Cody, because the fans are morons that actually do that. So I'm not going to really say it's all Cody's fault, but I am going to say that Cody didn't do anything to quell the fires. He just let it burn, in my humble opinion, which I think is kind of wrong, because he has to be an idiot not to know that his daughter was attacked online to where she had to literally shut it off. So the fact that he didn't say anything really irritated me, and I wouldn't be surprised that it irritated The Rock too. But again, I don't totally blame Cody for the actions of some stupid fans, but I will say that he didn't do anything to douse the fires out. But honestly, this is probably one of the most interesting storylines that can go in either direction that I have seen since the 90s. And that's many years ago, probably close to 20 some odd years ago. And I would never believe that the WWE will put that much emphasis in making it work. And it shows that this is a new WWE. This is a new time, and hopefully we're going to see some changes after WrestleMania. But I don't think that is over. After all that I just said, even though we saw the big marquee Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, I don't think it's over. I don't think it's going to be that match. I think it's going to be a triple threat. I've already said it in my previous video. This is going to be a triple threat match. But then there's also another thing. They can make The Rock a lethal enforcer. I hope not. That never works. That's the stupidest call. That is the stupidest position you can put somebody in, is making them a lethal enforcer. Please don't. We already got Solo Sikoa. He's the lethal enforcer. He's always a lethal enforcer. Then you got Jimmy somewhere in the back. But either or, don't make him a lethal enforcer. Put him in this match. Make it against all odds for Cody Rhodes. Do not make it easy on him. He's got an easy ride getting up to that point. Do not make it easy for him. Make it incredibly challenging. He wants to be able to redeem his belt that his father never had, even though that belt no longer exists because it's melded into one. So don't make it easy on him. Actually make it somewhat of a handicap match for him. Make it a 2-on-1. Have The Rock and Roman together going up against Cody. But eventually, they're going to turn on each other, and yeah, they're going to beat each other up. And of course, Cody's going to get the upper hand, and he's going to win that way. But make it challenging. Do not make it easy for this guy. He had enough of an easy ride. So if you really do want to get Cody way over than he already is, make it 2-on-1. Make it a triple threat match, but 2 people going against him. And I think that's what they're going to do. Because after looking at the backstage segment between Paul Levesque and The Rock, and the fact that The Rock literally just went off script and just completely just dropped all types of profanity and F-bombs towards Paul Levesque, shows me that either it's a little bit of a shoot in there and a whole lot of work. And more than likely, The Rock might be involved in some way. He might not be involved right away. We still have about a month, and we have about maybe 2 months to go. So more than likely, he is going to get involved somehow. He is going to really mess with Cody for the past few weeks. For the past few weeks leading on up to WrestleMania. Probably in March, we're going to see a lot more of him. But he is going to be either in the match or a lethal enforcer. But yeah, it's not over. I thought it was set in stone. I thought it was done. And I was happy because it would calm these Cody crazy fanatics down. But to be honest, I don't think it's over. I don't think it's set yet. I think it's going to change it to a triple threat. But honestly, guys, like I said before, probably maybe twice now, this was the most entertained that I was towards the end. Especially how you have both The Rock and Triple H, 2 rivals in their past, in their prime, come together and get in each other's face like that. Honestly, man, it's not over. It's going to be a very interesting ride leading on up to WrestleMania, and I'm curious to see where they're going to go next. But guys, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and let me know how you feel, but be nice, okay? Don't be like some sexist clowns that was in my previous video. Just be nice. Just have an opinion, and have everybody respect their opinion. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Don't be sexist. Don't be hateful. Just straight up say your opinion and how you think about it, and have everybody respect their opinion. It's sad that I have to say that, but sometimes fans go too far, like all these fans that actually threatened The Rock's daughter. Just have some sense. Just be nice. Just state your opinion and respect that everybody has theirs. All right, I'm done. If you like what I say, by all means, subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.